Hi, I'm melmige. I am a musical artist, rapper, singer, whatever you would like to label me as. I'm from West Virginia, and I am 19 years old. And what else is important about me? I'm in college. If people find that interesting, I study journalism. I guess it doesn't really specifically point towards a certain genre, but I would say emotionally vulnerable. I think all my music is very similar thematically, but I would say like genre wise, very different. I'll make rap and I'll do like a slower acoustic song, and I'll make something with a shit ton of autotune or whatever. But I think the consistency between my songs lies within like the topics, so it's all very honest and raw and like genuine emotion. It's just me, is what it is. So I think describing it to someone that's never heard it before would just be I'm very emotional and sometimes I rap. It's a good question. Um, I don't know. I think sometimes I like to think that it's more unique than it really is. A little bit of that self-inflicted bias. Um, But I would say, and I'm not saying I'm the only person that ventures through this path, but one unique thing about my music would be that it is so honest, and I feel like it kind of paints a picture for what I'm trying to describe. I like being very specific in what I'm saying, specific in my lyrics, um, even if it comes off as not super relatable or even easy to understand. I like being super specific in what I say because I'm just talking about myself, and I like to find new, super specific ways to talk about myself because that's all music really is. I just talk about myself in a different way than most people talk about themselves. As of like earlier this month, I've been making music for 2 years. Um, I started out kind of like not even knowing what to do. I've been playing like instruments and stuff for years and years and years. I started playing piano when I was in the eighth grade, and I picked up guitar a year or two later. I was actually a theater kid, believe it or not. I would say like fifth grade to no, I would say even early, like third grade to like my first year of high school. I was a theater kid. I did like shows, so like I've always been doing music, but like posting original songs 2 years ago. Where did melmige come from? It's just my middle name. It's a family name. Got a bit of an interesting backstory, if you'd like to hear it. Melmige is a shortened version of a family name on my mother's side. See, when my like I think it was great grandparents, they are from Italy, and they came over here to America, and they were like, "Damn, our name is too Italian because it was Melamachi," and they're like, "How can we make that a little less Italian?" And they made it Melmige, so it just kind of shortened Melamachi to Melmige, which in my mind it still sounds super Italian, or at least not American. So, but hey, yeah, no Melmige. There's no deep secret. It's just my middle name. I was lazy when choosing my artist name. I'm gonna say definitely two big ones. One is my favorite band, the Front Bottoms. I think Brian Sella has a wonderful way of crafting lyrics, and apart from like the really fun indie folk instrumentals, I really like zero in on his lyricism and his like way of storytelling. It's why I write so specifically because I really like how he writes super specifically. And then I would say within more closer to like the scene, Ninetales slash Sewer Person is my favorite solo artist. And if you pay close enough attention, you can probably pick up on some inspirations that I take from him. I also love his lyricism. I love his melodies, and I just love the way he crafts music, and also his storytelling, similar to the Front Bottoms. I just love a lot. No, Well, actually, let's think here. Let's not jump to conclusions. Yeah, no, like I've just focused so much on music that I don't have any. I didn't really put work into anything else. I draw. I do art. I like drawing a lot. It's what I did before music, so I guess that's sort of a hidden talent. As in, I don't talk about it anymore because I don't feel the need to because I don't draw much anymore because I'm only working on music. So I most of the time I do like when writing a song, I start out with a beat. If I like think of like this cool lyric in the car, I'll like type it in my phone real quick at the stoplight or something. But most of the time I do start with a beat because I don't produce my songs. So I find a beat and then that's when I start the writing process when I find something that I can actually write on because I would much rather write lyrics to a beat than write lyrics and have to adjust them to fit the beat because I hate changing my lyrics once I write them down. 99% of my lyrics, once I write them down, that's the final lyric. And then if the recording process only starts, I would say 90% of the time, I only start recording once I've written the entire song. Because if I start recording halfway through a song, I'm only going to focus on that half, and I'm never going to write the second half. If I start mixing one half, the second half's never being done. And as for writing, I just kind of, like I said earlier, find new ways to talk about how I feel, relationships I have, emotions, events, situations, stuff like that. And it's just a very straightforward process. There's not a lot of backtracking, apart from like mixing. Like I said, when I'm writing, if I write something down most of the time, it's going to stay in the song. The emotional outlet. It sounds a bit corny, or maybe I'm just telling myself that it does. But I love the ability and having the chance to take such like visceral, vulnerable, and like internalized emotions and being able to funnel them into an outlet that externalizes them. So I'm able to take how I feel, take me, and take that part of me, and instead of keeping that part of me inside, I'm putting it out into the universe in an art form. So I can make the jumbled, rambled, kind of like messy thoughts in my head, and I can kind of boil them down to their key components and turn them into coherent structure and coherent art. Because creating art it's fucking beautiful, man. Like you got it in your head, and you make this song that is just a representation of part of who you are. And I like being able to share that with other people. I think it's one of the easiest ways, for me at least, to share with other people how I feel. Sometimes I haven't been able to say things or articulate them a certain way, but I've been able to properly and adequately articulate them in a song. Fuck. Having an idea in my head and then it not working the way I want it to when I actually record and mix. It's shitty, man. It's so horrible to be like, I'll be like driving in the car and I'll get an idea in my head. I'll be like, oh, I have a thematic layout. I have some keywords, some buzzwords I want to put in the lyrics, and I have an idea for the sound. And then I get home or I'm already am home and I start to work on something, and very quickly I realize that it's not going the way that I want it to go. Whether it be due to lack of technical ability, such as not being able to mix it the right way I want, or just on the side of I can't record it in the sort of cadence that I had in my head, or it could just sound like shit overall and be like, man, I thought this was a good idea, but it's definitely not. So it's a very disappointing thing to want to do something and then realize that you can't. It does bother me a little bit because it does kind of make you go into that area of questioning whether or not you have the capacity to create art, the capacity to create art that is satisfactory by your own individual standards. So it's difficult to kind of accept that. Maybe not everything's going to work out, but of course, it's all part of the process. I just hate wanting to do something and not being able to do it from an artistic standpoint. Definitely sewer person, 100%. But I feel like that's an easy answer since it's my favorite artist. So here's what I'll do for you. I'll give you an unlikely collab that I think I could actually make work. Because of course Sewer Purse is my number one dream collab. I love the man. I love his music. I've been listening to him for 3 years. So here's this. Imagine this. A melmige song. All right, bear with me here. A melmige song with 2 features. Laura Less from 100 Gex, and as the second feature on the song, maybe he'll do the chorus, Corey Taylor from Slipknot. I think that with Corey's theatrical singing and deep growls, Laura's pitch-shifted, auto-tune, very poppy, vibrant sound, and then I could just like say some shit for like 20 seconds because this song's not about me. I think that would be an insane collab. Just 3 people that would never even think about each other. And with me at the creative helm, the captain steering that ship, I can make something, if not good, then at least interesting. I've never thought of doing that until like 20 seconds ago, but now I want it to happen. Corey Taylor or Laura Less, hit me up if you're down to collab. I'm always looking to help. I'm always looking to help smaller artists, you know. So hit me up. You know where to find me. I'm a huge fucking fan of Mercy Kill and Hirosha as like regarding producers that are like I'm like very like close to like in the scene surrounding like the sphere of influence that surrounds my output of art. I think Hirosha's production really gets to me because not only does he have like the versatility to do a lot of different areas, but it's just kind of like how he does it. He thinks of things that people just wouldn't normally think of, and his execution spans from, you know, chill lo-fi to like horrorcore alt metal. And he does it fantastically. Mercy Kill, another one of my really favorite producers, simply because everything he makes just has that real like or most of what he makes has this real thrashy, aggressive, abrasive tone, and I really like that kind of style. Leo Mack is another producer that I don't think many people have heard of, but Leo Mack has kind of like mastered the alt indie genre where he's creating not beats because you know a lot of what is advertised, posted, and sort of in the circulation of usage is just beats, you know, loops, percussion, 808s, very structured but also repetitive for the sake of being able to rap on them. What Leo Mack is doing is he's creating, you know, essentially full band instrumentals, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, drum set, bass, and he's crafting something you would hear from an indie band. This isn't an indie type beat. This is very literally an instrumental that sort of embodies what makes indie music and like alt rock so fun. So he's, you know, making these weird, crazy guitar riffs that are at times super thrashy and distorted, but then sometimes super smooth and psychedelic. And his percussion is always super natural and acoustic sounding. So I really do love Leo Mack a lot. I don't know. I do have a soft spot for Eric Godlow because I love lo-fi, and Eric Godlow has kind of like also mastered the whole lo-fi thing. Because I think a lot of lo-fi production is super repetitive, and I guess for lack of a better term, shallow in a way when it comes to art. But Eric Godlow does a really good job at producing some pretty interesting and chill lo-fi beats. Sid, like Sid 6 was really fun to collaborate with, because she she provided like more, if that makes sense, because a lot of the time I find that collaborations with people that you may not be as acquainted with or as close to, it can be sort of just this like I make half of the song, you make other half, boom, we're done. But Sid kind of like took it a step farther and instead of just being like, oh, I'll just record a real quick verse on this, you know, she came up with ideas to help kind of craft the song into one whole piece instead of just 2 people on a song. So Sid was really fun to collaborate with. I had a lot of fun talking with Hirosha about making a beat, and where I've yet to actually, you know, bring that song to completion. Just the process of the back and forth between me and Hirosha and him sort of realizing and actualizing the vision that I had for a beat was super fun. I had a lot of fun making, and this is an older project that not many people know about. Probably because I sort of stray away from any sort of art music that I made older than like 6 months ago. But I made a collaborative album with Big Dwayne called Renaissance. And that's one of the most fun times I've ever had working with somebody because it was an everyday back and forth coming up with ideas, making an 8-song project together. And it was just a lot of time we spent together discussing ideas. This would sound good. This wouldn't sound good. How can we make this sound better? And I think when it boils down to it, collaborating with anybody that is genuinely interested in creating something with you, as opposed to just making a verse for a song, is always going to be a lot more fun. Um, Making Is There Blood on My Face? That was a super fun process because there was communication, and there was enthusiastic communication between making it. And I think that if both collaborators are enthusiastic to make the song together, to craft something together, it's going to be so much more fun than if as you just make an open, send it to somebody you think would sound good on it, they send it back 3 days later and you're done. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just find the alternative more fun. The process is more fulfilling. One thing would be not this semester because I'm doing kind of poorly this semester, but last semester I got a 4.0 in college. I made the president's list. That hasn't happened in like years, so it was really cool to have some academic achievement rather than stressing every single day about failing my classes. And then on the flip side of things, on the music side of things, I hit 50,000 overall plays, which was really cool because 50,000 is a very large number. And it's not something that I ever envisioned happening. It's not something that I saw was in the relatively near future. But it happened, and the support recently has been ever growing. It's been at an exponential rate, increasing every day, and it's one of the coolest things to watch happen. And it's really, it's validation, and yeah, I like validation. But more so, I'm getting what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to have an emotional output of art that I can share with people, and that resonates with them, and it is resonating with people, and people are relating, enjoying whatever they get from my music. They're getting something positive out of it, and that's what I've always wanted, is to create that positive impact on people. Don't be afraid to fall because you're gonna do it so many times. There's been so many times that like I mentioned earlier, wanting to be able to do something and then realizing that you don't have the capacity to do that at the current time. Well, you're going to have the capacity at one point. Be patient and don't be afraid to fail. Those are the two biggest things. Because I think impatience gets the best of a lot of good natured people because the desire to see recognition or evidence of progress is very desirable. And people are very, very eager, but at the same time impatient to receive that evidence of progress. And it's going to be a long time, and it's a constant thing. You're going to have a lot of mess ups, and that's okay, because there's no winning. There's no winning with music. There's no finish line that you cross after hitting a certain number or hitting a certain goal. There's no finish line. It's a constant state of creativity, personal growth, and individual development. It's not about winning or doing something as fast as possible, growing as fast as possible, or making your magnum opus a year into starting music. So just be patient. Don't be afraid to fail. I failed tons of times, and everybody fails tons of times. It's just part of it. Um, Find your rhythm, find what makes you happy, and stick to what makes you happy. Don't give a fuck about what anybody else is going to have to say. Um, of course, accept constructive criticism, but that's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying in regards to what makes you happy. If something makes you happy, fuck what people say about that thing. If you want to do a certain kind of music, but people aren't fucking with it, who cares, dude? It's your music. Do what you want with it. It's your art. It's your creative output. Pretty much the same thing, honestly. Also, pay better attention. Your third semester of college is going to be a lot more difficult than you think, because a lot of my advice that I have to give to other people stems from my own personal experiences and my own personal failures and mistakes. So, Mel, melmige 1 year ago, get your shit together, dude, because it's all downhill from here, and it's not, and it hasn't been uphill in so long. But don't give up, and please don't force yourself to drop a college class because you didn't go to class. You asked this question knowing what's next for me. You know, you okay. You know what? This is a thought form exclusive. I am making an album, and it's going to be a huge passion project, very conceptual, very narrative based, and very narrative driven, abstract, metaphorical, but it does contain a noticeable and more or less understandable narrative with its own characters and environments. And it's something I'm very excited about, because it is something that I've always wanted to make, but was never sure if I had the capacity to do so. But I've kind of come to the conclusion that yes, it is something that I can and will make. So I've been working on that for a couple months, and these next few months I will be ramping up production on it, and it's going to be really fun. I can't say that it will be for everybody because I know that it won't be for everybody. I can't say that it'll have super high replay value, or it'll be it's not going to fit in the it's a square peg that won't fit in the round hole of the music scene right now. And I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, it's a project that I am making not only for self-satisfaction is a lot of it, but also if even one person uh, listens to this project and it has any sort of resonation with them, then it will be a success, because it's something that means a lot to me, and it is, dare I say, the boldest move I've ever made with making music. And then this is the part where I get real close to the mic and I say thank you, ThoughtForm. Once again, my name is Melmige, Melmige. That's my name on SoundCloud. It's my name on Twitter, but with an underscore after. Um, and just kind of keep an eye out for me. Feel free to reach out. Like, I know a lot of artists say this, and whether or not the full sincerity is there is up to them. I can't decide for them, but I mean it sincerely when I say, if you want to talk to me, be friends with me, discuss music, literally anything, hit me up. I love making new friends. I love talking to people that have that common interest of music together, whether you make it or listen to it. And go listen to Why by me. It's a Idealism produced track that is a manic episode in a song. And if you want to get on a little happier side of things, a week ago I just released a single called I Think I'll Be Okay, which is the polar opposite of Why, which was released a week before that. A lot of diversity, and honestly polarizing differences between those songs. But go listen to them. I have not told anybody about this outside of my small circle of friends, business partners, homies, the gang, the boys. Don't fail. If you fail, quit. Never. If you fail even once, just stop. It's not even worth it. ThoughtForm was created and is currently owned by two dashingly handsome men, and I thank them very much.